My ex-wife pretended to be admitted in mental hospital while actually staying with her new BF and cheating. My ex-wife Laura used the strangest excuse for cheating on me while married that I feel it's worth sharing the story. Since we have divorced and moved on in our lives, I have no burden on me but just want Redditors to have fun and shock. I met Laura, my ex-wife, in what I thought was a classic meet cute. We were both in line at a local coffee shop, and what started as a casual joke about the long wait turned into a 2-hour conversation at a corner table. Laura was charming, quick-witted, and had an aura of confidence that I found irresistible. Before I knew it, we were seeing each other almost daily. Over time, our relationship blossomed. We moved in together, supported each other's dreams, and eventually got married in a small, intimate ceremony. Laura's career was taking off, and I was thriving in my role as a software developer. From the outside, we had the picture-perfect life, just two people deeply in love, or so I thought. Our marriage wasn't perfect, of course, whose is? But about 3 years after tying the knot, I began noticing cracks in the foundation. Laura became distant. She'd spend hours locked in her study or glued to her phone. When I'd ask about her day, her answers were vague, punctuated with lots of "I'm just stressed" or "work's been crazy." At first, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. She had always been ambitious and laser-focused on her career, so I chalked it up to her job demanding more of her time. But then came the late nights at the office and canceled plans. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, and as much as I tried to dismiss my suspicions, little things kept piling up: unexplained charges on our credit card, a sudden obsession with privacy, and a new perfume I'd never seen her wear before. Months of tension culminated in what I now realize was the masterstroke of her deception. One evening, Laura sat me down with a somber expression. "I need to talk to you," she said, tears brimming in her eyes. "I've been struggling, mentally. I've been trying to deal with it on my own, but I just can't anymore." At that moment, my heart broke for her. She explained that she'd been consulting a therapist, who had suggested she check into a long-term mental health facility. It sounded dire. "Of course," I said without hesitation. "Whatever it takes to help you get through this. I'll support you." I slept on the couch that night, letting her have the bed to herself. Despite my love and concern for her, I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something didn't quite add up. Laura packed a few suitcases and left the following day. For the next 6 weeks, she messaged me sporadically, claiming the facility had strict rules about phone usage to encourage participants to focus on their recovery. Her texts were strange, detached but peppered with reassurances that she was doing better. She didn't want me to visit, saying it would disrupt her progress. That hurt, but I wanted to believe she knew what was best for her healing process. Meanwhile, life without Laura felt empty. I threw myself into work and leaned on close friends for support. One friend, Evan, encouraged me to stay strong but voiced what I had been trying to suppress. "Don't you think it's weird she won't tell you the name of the facility or allow visitors? It's like she doesn't want to be found." I brushed off his concerns, telling myself I owed her space and trust. One evening, about a month into Laura's stay, I was scrolling aimlessly on Instagram when I accidentally tapped on the stories section. That's when I saw it, a mutual acquaintance at a restaurant, raising a toast with a group of people. And there, smiling brightly in the background, was Laura. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. Was it an old photo? Maybe she had been discharged and didn't tell me? But no, there was a caption with the date. You know that sinking feeling when you realize something awful, and all the pieces start clicking into place? That's exactly what happened to me. I couldn't ignore this any longer. Fueled by a mix of rage and disbelief, I did some digging, cross-referencing Laura's recent activities with information from mutual friends. Soon, everything came crashing down. Laura hadn't been in a mental health facility. She hadn't been healing. She'd been staying with her new boyfriend, the other man, this entire time. The Instagram story was just the beginning. Through various channels, I uncovered details about their little getaway, their outings, and even romantic captions he'd posted about her. I was beyond humiliated. While I had been losing sleep over her well-being, Laura had been whining and dining with someone else. I debated how to approach her, ultimately deciding to wait until she reached out to me. A week later, I got a text claiming her treatment had been successful and she was ready to come home. When she walked through the door, I was ready. How was your treatment? I asked, holding up screenshots of her Instagram escapades. Her face went pale. I can explain. But there were no explanations. Only lies. Unsurprisingly, that was the end of our marriage. The divorce process was as messy as you can imagine, but in the end, I'm grateful for the friends who stood by me and helped me move on. Looking back, I realize how toxic and manipulative Laura had been, not just in these final months but throughout our relationship. Her ability to lie so casually still baffles me.